Abstinence Only Education by Keely D'Souza. When you were in high school, did you feel like you were truly being educated on sex or just being educated on reasons not to have sex? Were you being informed on subjects such as STIs, pregnancy, protection, and things of that nature? If you don't feel like these things ever applied to you in high school, it may be because your sex education was actually being pushed on as abstinence-only education. These aspects are what are pushing teens towards unprotected sex, pregnancy, and STDs and STIs. These are reasons why that school systems need to be teaching actual sex education that's actually informing these students, not informing them on reasons why sex is bad and why they shouldn't have sex at all. Because if you're a teenager and you want to do these things, someone telling you not to isn't going to actually stop you. You should be informed on what you're doing so you can do it in the safest way possible. I connect with this topic because I feel like when I was in high school, my sex education seemed to be along the lines of abstinence-only education. Our teachers weren't teaching us ways to have safe sex, they were teaching us why it was bad, and that was just misinforming students and leading them to bad situations. My main points of my speech today are going to be on STIs and pregnancies, the knowledge that teens need to know, and how parents are a big part of this subject. STIs and pregnancy. Teen STI rates are increasing every day because they are not being properly informed on ways to protect themselves and their partners. Teenage pregnancy is also increasing as well as a lack of protection and information that they need. In 2015, a total of 229,715 babies were born to women ages 15 to 19. Sexually active adolescents aged 15 to 19 years old as well, and young adults ages 20 to 24 are at a higher risk of acquiring STDs than any other ages. The knowledge that teens need to know. Teens aren't just going to know this viable information that they need. They need their teachers to be properly informing them on all of these subjects, because if they're not being taught at home and they're not being taught in school, the most accurate thing they can do is research on the internet, which isn't always the best option. They should be being taught in school like we're being taught all other subjects. This is an important subject in a teenager's life, and that's why they need to be properly informed on it so they can stay out of bad situations like possibly having an STD, getting pregnant and needing an abortion and not being able to either afford it or be able to get one at all, and any other situations along those lines. If teens feel that they have an outlet for this information, like if they feel that they can go to their teachers and talk to them about it, it may decrease teenage pregnancy rates, STI rates, STD rates, any of those things, because they may feel that they can talk to someone about their problems and their questions, and it'll keep them safe and their partner safe. As much as one may want to promote abstinence, understandably, maybe a parent or someone that believes that their religion, you should stay abstinent till marriage, even if they do want to promote it, not every teen is going to agree with that. And some may, so maybe if they choose that they want to be abstinent, that education can be given to them. But if they don't want to be abstinent, then they should be given the information that they need. If they want to be active and they're going to be active, which is exactly why we should be educating them, is so that they stay out of these bad situations. Parents are a big part of this, and if you're a parent, maybe you don't exactly agree, but maybe you do. It is what is going on at home as well as what's going on in school. Like, parents at home may not want to talk to their kids about having sex, but honestly, like, it is the best option, because whether you want to teach them to stay abstinent or you want to actually educate them on ways to stay safe, they are going to listen to you if you give them the information they need to hear. You may not exactly condone being sexually active, but you can at least tell them that they need to use protection, maybe they need birth control, and just like ways they can stay safe, because if they feel like their parents are supporting their decisions and they are an outlet, someone maybe they're not going to talk to about every little detail, but if they can talk to them about the subject at all, that will definitely help them in life and will keep them on a good route and a safe route. Now that it has been made clear that abstinence-only education is not effective and is holding little to no benefits to these students that are sexually active, we can start to understand why sex education needs to be given to teens properly and actually properly educate them on the subject. It gives them a sense of security and it gives them an outlet to come to with their questions and concerns. Giving teens the proper education may decrease STI rates and pregnancy rates in adolescents, and overall may help them stay safe in these situations. This speech is why abstinence-only education is not effective. This is to inform everyone on the things that are going on. Some may not realize it. Some schools are giving proper education, but all schools aren't. Some schools don't do sex education at all, and that's not effective to these teenagers and young adults that need it. It should be taught to young adults on how to practice safe sex and be knowledgeable overall on sex so they can keep themselves and their partners safe. This subject, I feel, has been talked about a little bit, but it isn't a very widely talked about subject. Schools are meant to educate young people, but if we're only picking and choosing what to educate them on, that does leave them in the dark about certain situations. And this is a life situation that teenagers need to know about. They can't go into their adulthood and know nothing about staying safe during sex, because that's just going to put them in an unwanted situation. And we don't want teenagers and young adults to feel like they have to turn to bad other things like at-home abortions or not having enough money to even afford the proper care if they do decide to go on with maybe a pregnancy. Maybe they aren't even giving their fetus the proper care because they can't afford it, or things along those lines. I think that practicing safe sex and proper sex education should be taught in all schools, and that's why I gave this speech today to talk about STI rates, pregnancy, how parents can help at home, and how schools need to properly educate. Thank you.